This is the Alaska range. Yee!
Basically, a wing is like 2 bed sheets. It's got really narrow cells along what we call the leading edge. And we've just got to expose that to the wind, and the whole foil will fill with air. We can kind of like play with what we call our A lines. Those are the lines that attach to the leading edge, and then bang, your wing inflates. Ideally, you've just got 5 to 15K of nice, gentle upslope breeze. That would be perfect. Just about anybody can launch in those kind of conditions.
One of the most difficult parts of paragliding is getting the wing off the ground, up into the air, and running off the slope. As we fly away from the hill, if the glider's not in a proper flying configuration, you can hit the mountain.
Shit!
When we're cross-country paragliding on a good weather day, the process is pretty simple, more or less, how the paraglider works. We find a rising current of air called a thermal. This warm rising thermal takes us as high as it goes, sometimes a few hundred feet, sometimes a few thousand feet. Our paragliders get about a 10-to-1 glide ratio. So if we can climb 5,000 feet up, then we'll travel 50,000 feet forward. As paraglider pilots, we are closely tied to the environment which we're traveling in. And one of the biggest indicators of how the day is going to turn out is the clouds. There's dozens of different types, and why they form and how they're forming tells us a lot. It paints a picture of what's going on to us. One of our biggest nemesis while paragliding is the wind. Our paragliders only really go about 30 miles an hour. And if you're pointed into a 45-mile-an-hour wind, like we found ourselves, then you're gonna land backwards.
Shit.
If you start getting up more than about 20 kilometers an hour wind in the mountains, it gets really rowdy and really dangerous.
Uh-oh. We got issues. Oh.
I always refer to my paraglider setup as my magic backpack, because it truly is a bag full of magic. In this small, compact backpack is a full-blown aircraft capable of long-distance flights over 8 hours in duration. It blows my mind every time. It's nothing more than a glorified piece of nylon. It's basically a cut-up tent sewed together in a special way that generates lift. All of your camping gear, your food, your water, your supplies, it's all hanging from a few strands of spectra or aramid below a nylon wing.
"61 degrees north, we're paragliding! We're going places!" Yeah, we're doing it! This is it! Yoo-hoo! 800K to go, baby. Let's do this.
It always makes me smile, but it always makes me get a bit of a funny feeling. This is sun-powered flight on a tiny little backpack.